Hi, this is Stuart from Scotland FX. Thanks very much for joining me. It's just a short video today, a quick update on how the FTMO challenge is going, and a little bit about trading psychology as well. A few more subscribers, a couple more subscribers. Thanks very much. You know who you are. Right, okay, let's just jump straight into it. I am down a little. To be honest, I had a bad day. Day 2 was a bad day. I had 2 losses back to back. Now, this is where psychology comes in. The first trade was a good trade. It was well set up. However, it just went against me. The reason it's more than 1%, because normally I only risk 1%, is that again, I didn't stick to my own strategy. Normally, I'd said for FTMO, I'd risk only 1%. However, in saying that, I decided to risk about 1.5%. It was 1.5%. And by the time I got stopped out, my stop wasn't quite right. So rather than being 750, it's 800. So yeah, that was that. Well, obviously with the commission as well, so it's like 790 or something. So yeah, that was just a trade that wins against me. But again, I should have stuck to 1% risk to reward, and a 1%. Well, not 1% risk to reward. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Just a 1% risk trade. I'm set for a 1 to 2, but I ended up trying to do 1.5% risk on a 1 to 2 RR. So if I'd won, I would have made 3%. As it was, I was down 1.5% on that. I mean, I was up. That just took me down like just under 1% down. And then again, this is where the psychology came in. I saw a trade that was not perfect, but in my head, I was going, yeah, if I can win this trade, if I can win this 2%, risk 2%, because again, it was a 1 to 2. If I win it, I'll be 4% up, and it wasn't a good trade, to be honest. This one was a good trade. This one was fine. It just went against me. I was risking too much. It should only been 1%. I ended up risking 1.5%, and also I didn't have my glasses on, so I misread the lot size and the lot size calculator. That didn't help either. It was only a little bit out, but again, just pushed it a bit more than it should have been. This was a revenge trade. There's no two ways about it. I saw the setup. It wasn't a bad setup. It just wasn't a perfect setup, if there is such a thing. But even when I was taking it, I felt I shouldn't, and I took it anyway. So I would call that a revenge trade, or a desperation trade, if you'd rather. So I did not stick to my own strategy. It's as simple as that. It wasn't right. I didn't have enough confluences, and I took it anyway, over risking, because I risked at that point 2%, trying to make back 4 to kick me back into the positive. So it was just bad psychology, bad trading, end of story, and I shouldn't have done it. But it was a good lesson. It was a good lesson. The next trade I took the following day. I think that. Oh no, it was the same day. So it was 3 trades that day, two big losses, and only 1 small win. I got into the trade, and it ended up just going sideways. The price action just going sideways for ages, and I decided, because it was getting later on in the day, I just closed the trade, because I was going to have to leave the terminal, and I couldn't watch it, and it was just going sideways, and as a result, I didn't like what the stochastic was doing, and it just didn't look like it was going to, either it wasn't going to move for ages, or it was going to get to a point where it was starting to lose the setup looked nice, but then if I'd put it this way, after about 6 hours, if I'd looked at it at that point, the setup wasn't there to enter the trade anymore. So if I'd come to my machine 6 hours later, I would have looked at it and went, "Oh, I'm not going to enter that." So there I was in the trade 6 hours later, in a small profit. But if I had sat down at that point, I wouldn't have entered the trade. So I decided to get out with just it's almost a break-even trade, but yeah, it was a small win. Let's put it that way. So following day, really nice setup. I was really happy with the setup, and I decided to get into that trade. Let me see if I can, I'm doing some back testing here, let me just get rid of that. Right, so where are we? Just to bring me back into it. So this was the trade here. I really liked it. It was a lovely setup. So again, following my own rules. If I zoom right out, so that's all my back testing. So you can see we were clearly in an uptrend. That was the first thing, and I was looking for my trade setup to be met and my trade entry setup to be met. So what was, are we in uptrend? Yes, I'm looking for longs. Are we above the 50 EMA? Yes, so we're not in a pullback on the higher time frame. We had a nice break of this high here, and when the price came up, broke through here. So this was the low that started the move, that broke the previous high, so broke previous price structure. So I watched it and I saw a clear pullback here, drew my Fibonacci in, and you see actually this lined up really nice with the 50. I've stuck the 50 back in because I'm finding it's quite useful. I took it out just to have less, because typically the 38.2 or the 6.18 or the 786 are typically what I was going for. But I noticed with this pair in particular, pound yen, that often it was retracing back to the 50. So it's just, again, through my back testing, I found that to be quite quite popular, or not popular, but it happens quite often. It just comes back to the 50 rather than all the way back to the 618 or the 786. So that was just through back testing. So I stuck it in on this pair. I wouldn't necessarily have it in on every pair. So I saw it, and then I saw price coming up. We had a crossover, the stochastic. So we had all my confluences. So for me, it was a nice trade. We had a clear break, and we were coming back and retesting the previous high, which happened to be on a Fibonacci level. I had a lot of price action in here. I saw the price coming back up as the stochastic was crossing up, so I entered the trade. Now you see that's a 1 to 2. If I had stayed in the trade longer, I would have made 2% on this. I got out, to be honest. I got out. It was in about here. I got to 1%, and because my account was down at this point, my account was, and I actually got in on that one. So because my account was down, I'd had two horrible trades the day before. I had to leave the computer. I had things I had to go and do. I was 1% up, and I just started thinking, well, yeah, I could have left it, made 2%. To be honest, my target initially was 2.5, so I wouldn't have hit or certainly at this point, I would still be in the trade. With FTMO, you cannot leave it over the weekend. I was thinking about that as well, because this is Friday, Good Friday in fact. I was 1% up, and I thought, well, okay, I only need a couple of 1% trades, and I'm back to break even on the challenge. Being a bit more cautious, hitting 1%, taking your profit. If I do that a couple of times, I'm more likely to hit TP if it's only 1%, especially with a setup like this, and a couple of them, and I've got myself back into break even or a slightly positive position on my FTMO challenge account. So until I can get my balance back up a bit, I've just been a bit more cautious, hit 1%, take my profit. So I was quite happy with this trade, and it was a lovely, the setup was there. We had a pullback into price action area. Price action area was supported by fib. The 50 EMA had come up, and you see here right at the bottom of this, it was absolutely beautiful. And the 50 EMA was acting as a dynamic support line, a crossover of the stochastic, 14 period stochastic. It wasn't an oversold, which would have been perfect, but it was close to it. It was at the bottom. I had room to come up. So I was really, really happy with the trade. Saw 1%, just closed off and took my profit. To be honest, if I had stayed in, I could have made 2%, but I had to go. It was a Friday. I didn't want to leave it running and unmonitored, so I decided to get out. So again, just being a bit overly cautious perhaps, but I'm thinking, over the next couple of days or into next week, obviously Monday, Tuesday, if I can get a couple of 1% winners, I'm back into above break even, and then I can start looking at my strategy. Not changing my strategy for entry, but just maybe being a little bit more bullish, if you'd rather. on the take profit, looking for, again, this was a 1-to-1, so obviously I'm looking for a minimum 1-to-1, which I got. Ideally a 1-to-1.5 or a 1-to-2, so looking for those setups again and try to let my profits run. But you know, once I can get a couple of 1%ers and get myself back to break even, I think I'll be in a good position. So trading psychology is as important as trading setup. You know, I had a big loss, slightly miscalculated the lot sizes. I didn't have my glasses on, and you know, and I'm looking on a small screen. I had actually done it on my phone at the time. Miscalculated the lot size, so the loss ended up being bigger than it should have been. Although the trade was good, the setup was good. The next trade was just a bad trade. It was a bad setup, and I was risking way too much. You know, just desperation or revenge trading. So don't fall into that trap. You've got a set of rules so that you don't have to be emotional. So, you know, if I had stuck to my set of rules, I'd never have entered that second trade, and I'd almost be back to break even now on that 1% win. So, you know, do not, or in fact I would be, I'd be back just over profit. So although it's a 60% win rate, there was only one small win, so really discounting that, it's about a 50% win rate at the moment, but terrible risk to reward and profit factor, because that was a mistake on the lot sizing, and that was revenge trading. So don't do it. It's a good lesson learned. You know, for me, this is, as much as I want to pass the FTMO, I want to be a good trader. So learning from these lessons is just as important as winning trades. You know, you learn more from a loss than you do from a win, especially when you look back and go, why on earth did you get yourself into that position in the first place? Because I never should have. So, you know, with that in mind, hopefully, you know, having the foresight to have better trading discipline, so that psychology doesn't come into it. Say, there's my rules. Does it meet it? Yes. Enter. Does it? You know, is there any reason why you shouldn't? No. Then don't enter. Don't take your desperation trades, even if you're down. So that's it. I'll leave that there. Short video. So not perfect. As I said, I'm not a trading guru. This is as much as I'm trying to pass FTMO, might not do it on this occasion. I'm trying to develop a strategy which has a good level, good high win rate, and good good percentage win rate, and a good risk to reward, and moreover on top of that, teach myself to have the psychology in place, not to be stupid, not to, you know, make sure your numbers are right. That was an honest mistake, but it was an avoidable mistake. So there's that. Make sure your numbers are right. Check and double check before you click that buy or sell, your lot sizing, etc. And then, you know, even if you are down or you feel you missed out on a trade opportunity, don't take a desperation trade, and then certainly don't revenge it by oversizing your position, which is what I did, trying to recover something and end up losing even more. So good lessons learned. So hopefully you can learn from my mistakes, and you know, good success to you all. Whatever you're doing, have a good strong strategy, have good discipline, and stick to it. Whether it wins or loses, you know, you've got to stick, especially if you know it's a winning strategy through backtesting, which I know this is. It's having the discipline and sticking to it, and as I said, I've struggled with that in the past, and I need to get myself back into the correct frame of mind for this upcoming week, which hopefully I will be, with some nice wins and get my win rate up and my risk to reward ratio up as well, and start seeing some positive equity on this challenge. Right, so with that being said, I will leave that there. Thanks very much for joining me. Again, I'm just being honest and candid in what I'm doing, the things that go well, and also my flaws and things that don't go well, so that not only can I learn from it, but hopefully you guys can as well, and just, you know, do the good things and don't do the mistakes. It's easier said than done. You can always look back in hindsight and go, why did I do that? But if you can learn from my mistakes, then all be it, and that's fantastic as well. So I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for joining me on this video. If you did like it, if you could do me a solid, and let me where are we? There we go. No, that's not the one. I need to get this set up better. There you go. If you could do me a solid, click the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm just a small channel looking to grow, and your support is very much appreciated. Take care, and I will catch you in the next video.